How's it going, guys? Nathan from Nathan's DIY Garage, and today we're going to do the thermostat replacement on the BMW 135i. So we got it in today. We're going to try the thermostat first. Hopefully the pump isn't leaking, because the pump is still pumping fine and the car is not overheating. Or probably what's going on is, since they had all the silicone on top here, all the blue silicone, probably has stuff stuck down in the thermostat. So we have a new eBay thermostat. It was like 25 or 26 bucks. 25 is some change. And this guy supposedly is different for the twin turbo, the N54, than just the standard E90 with the N52. The water pump is for sure different. The plugs are all different. And we're going to, at this point, go down here and get to this thermostat. Fortunately, you can't go to the top and get to it because you can't see it. And so we have the car jacked up. We have our little mat down here, and we're going to go in there. We're going to have to take the sway bar down. We're going to have to take the 3 bolts and a pump down, take the pump actually down, and then at that point in time we'll closely inspect it. If the pump is leaking or is cracked, we have to stop at this point. I have to order a pump. The problem with it is a pump for the N54 is basically 400 bucks just off eBay. The parts store was, I don't even remember, it was with tax and everything, it was not too far from $1,000 just for the pump. So we're going to try not to have to do that if we don't have to, and hopefully the thermostat's going to fix it. Here we are under the car. We have 2 jack stands. We have one at the mounting point of the lower control arm. We have another one at the mounting point of that lower control arm, and we have our jack just with some tension on it back at the jack point. Now usually I would put the jacks on the jack, or the jack stands on the jack point, but for some reason this car, I can't get the jack high enough to get those under that point, which will be fine right here. They're out of the way, and that's for sure not going to break. So we do have a couple of problems. We have to take the sway bar out. You can see all the oil in this thing. The sway bar has 2, I believe it's 13s, one there, one right there, one right there, and then another set of them over here at this guy right here. So we're going to take it down. We're going to have to swing it down. Fortunately, this is convertible, so this has extra supports in here. And it looks like probably an 18 there, probably a 16 there, probably another 16 there, and then it goes back under the cover. So I really hope we don't take the cover out, but we probably are on both sides, and that's going to suck because that's a pretty big piece. And you can see this one over here. We'll have to move the jack and pull that one out. At that point in time, we should be able to swing the whole sway bar assembly down and out of the way. And at that point in time, sorry for the shaky camera, we have the pump, which is sitting right there. We should be able to take this bolt out, that bolt out, and there should be another bolt that goes up. It's hard to see up in here, and these are all the E series sockets. There should be 3 bolts holds the pump on all together. We are going to have to take the coolant out. We have a U-shaped hose that goes from, I believe it's the bottom of the radiator to the back of the pump. That'll all have to come off. Let's see if you can see it any better. And we'll have to let the coolant out. Now this coolant we just added when we did fix the other coolant leak, the hose, we lost some coolant. It was already a little bit low. We used the whole gallon it gave me. It had some kind of like an import type coolant. Now this car already had a lot of green coolant in it. We're probably just going to put green back in it. I don't think it makes that much difference, to be honest with you. Most of these cars, when they come in at this point, they have the green in them already. So I guess we're going to go ahead and take all the stuff apart and come back. Alright, so it wasn't too bad. I put you on time lapse and figured you didn't want to sit here and watch me take bolts out. So we have both the convertible brace bars down here. So we took all the bolts out, everything came out good, and back by the jack point you could actually get to the bolt without taking any of that plastic stuff down. Now let me remind you, we also have the undercarriage skid plate out. You will have to take that out. We have agreed with the owner to leave this off. You can't, like I talked about before, you can't see anything dripping. I think he wants to be able to, if he has a drip, oil or coolant, be able to see where it's at. And you can see it still has a plate over the transmission, a small plate, and it's already collected. Well, it already had it before I even took it apart. It already had leaves and crap packed in there. We'll probably go ahead and take that off. We'll give these two plates back to the owner, give him a bag with all the bolts in them. He could put them on down the road if he wants, but you know, my recommendation is probably leave them off. We do see a couple things here. We see the power steering line hangers all broke, which that's not that big of a deal. Probably didn't have to zip tie it. It's actually broke the rubber mount off of it. I don't think I have a rubber mount here for that to look. So we have our sway bar is all swayed down here, and now we can actually get up in there and get to the bolts. You can see the amount of oil that's on this engine, and a lot of that was due to two things. It was due to that oil filter housing. Mainly it was due to that washer being messed up on the banjo fitting on top of the oil cooler, and it was just barfing oil out everywhere. So let's go ahead and get this pump taken down, and we're gonna have to drain the coolant into some kind of pan for right now, just so we don't run on the ground when we're laying here. Okay, so here we are. You can see the green coolant that we just took out of it. There is, you probably can't see it, it's been sitting here a little bit. There is chunks of oil and stuff floating around in it. Everything's kind of settled out now. You can see a little bit of it right there. And we'll probably go and discard this coolant. We don't want to have chunks of oil going through the new thermostat. And I think at this point we're ready to take the 3 E10s out of the pump. We have 2 other 10 millimeters that go and bolt the pump to the thermostat, and we're going to go ahead and take that out now. All right, guys, so here we have the pump out. We have, so this guy is going to sit up there like this, and he has the bolt in the top, which we were struggling with, and come to find out what was going on, I have 2 different universals, and the one on the right's the black one is the impact socket, and its range of motion is limited, and it's a lot fatter up here. Now when using that on an impact, works good because you could just torque down on it and it won't snap. The other one, I haven't actually used this universal in probably 2 years because they're kind of junk, but in this case this is what I had to use to get the top bolt out, this with the E12 socket. And basically what we're looking at here is the old thermostat. Once you get the water pump out of the way, this is really the only hard bolt. All the bolts that go to the thermostat and the bolts that actually hold on the pump to the car are easy. This is the only difficult situation. Now the thermostat has a bunch of hoses going to it. All the ones that have the rippled ends, the barb fitting ends, are just push on with clamp, and then the other one are push lock. So the push lock ones they're a little hard to get to the clip to open them up, but it really wasn't that bad. And we looked down in the thermostat, we really can't see anything wrong with it. I don't see a big chunk of silicone down in there, nothing like that. There is something that concerns me about this car though. This car has 86,000 miles on it, and just by squeezing the rubber hoses, by looking at what's going on, oh, I went out of focus there, I'm having a pretty difficult time believing this car only has 86,000 miles on it. It looks like a car that has more like double that, if not more on it. It's just, everything is Looks like it's been on there far longer than 86,000 miles. All the hoses are kind of squishy, like they're getting, like you see with a car with 200,000 miles on it. So I don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully for the owner's sake, that's not the case. We do have our new thermostat here, and we're going to reuse the same water pump. The water pump looks good. It was running good. Hopefully it's not leaking from around the gasket. I think what it was just stuff dripping above it. We're going to hope at least. And we're going to have to closely inspect all the rubber hoses for any kind of pinholes, and we're going to definitely go through and clean or even replace the oil rings that seat to that. We don't want to have any leaks when we put it back in. When we reinstall this, since it's such a time-consuming process, we want it to be finished and done. So I'm sure the owner's ready to get his car back. It's been sitting here almost a week, waiting on parts from eBay to get here, and I'm ready to have it back to him. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you can see on the time lapse what was going on. It's just not the kind of job you could put that much detail with the camera in it. It's such an awkward spot. My arms are up in there doing stuff you can't see in there anyway. So that's all for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and that's it. Thanks for watching.